All right, first disclaimer, I got in at 4 a.m. last night, so I'm gonna do my best, but seeing you guys all here is super exciting and fun. Thank you for coming. And 20 years, 5 conventions later, man, this is crazy, but this is why we do it, is you guys, and it's so lovely to meet. I mean, we got the best fans, bar none, Halloween fans. So, of course, something like this takes a lot of work, and I think that's why I decided to do it every 5 years, because it takes that long to forget how much work. But there's a lot of people to thank, so real quickly, Horror Hound, give it up for those guys that knocked out and my team at Trancas, Tom Malek Akkad and Hunter, and Ryan Freeman, executive producer, he killed it for this thing, so. And it makes it all worthwhile to be here and celebrating this all with you guys, so thank you again. Am I missing anybody? Well, the fun story is 20 years ago, internet wasn't what it was. I was working in Trancas, and these guys came to me and said, we want to do a convention. And my thought, to be honest, was it was going to be those guys and 10 of their friends in a little ballroom hanging out. That was 25 Years of Terror, came out on DVD. You guys, anyone who was here at that one? You all deserve a free shirt, come see me. Anyone who can prove they were there, you get a free shirt, come see me. And this guy, we were shocked, and so really like the films, like everything we do, it's all about you guys and the Halloween fam. So that's, I guess, my preamble, my little tired preamble. So thanks for coming.
And I'll start with a second disclaimer, just saying, yes, he did get back at 4 a.m. in the morning, and I can vouch for it, so I'm going to do my best here, and I apologize, I speak English, so it may take a while to get through. So what we're going to basically do, we're going to look at the Halloween story from the perspective of someone who's really been inside it from the beginning in different ways, and we're going to look at where that takes us to today. And specifically, we're going to focus on Moustapha Akkad, his father, who really is one of the reasons that we're all here today. So, and I think it's the time to celebrate that. And we all know the beginning story, don't we? The 300,000, the babysitter connected. We don't really ever talk about the story beyond that. So that's what we're going to look at. We're not really going to go over the things you know. We're going to look a bit more onto that, into the future from there. But first, yes, do you want to just start with a little background on really what was happening with your father before Halloween landed?
I mean, I can go on and on about my father. In fact, I'm working on a documentary about him, and we may be able to show a clip, I hope. He was, I say objectively, everyone loves their father, but he was just one in a million kind of guy, billion. I mean, just legend. And, well, he was doing some really big films overseas, and then he very wisely, I guess, wanted to do some small films on his own, and Halloween was one. And there we are, the history. It's funny because on this last film, someone pointed out to me, he worked on 8 films, and this last Halloween was my 9th in some way or another, and so that was touching to have overtaken him by that one film. But he is always with me, and I feel his push on my shoulder in everything we do.
When Halloween landed, what was it like for you? I mean, you were obviously, young, and this amazing behemoth of an experience lands on the doorstep. How did that change your life?
Well, just like Halloween 1, I was around 9, I think, and I got the tapes. I can't remember, pneumatic tapes, so I got to torture all the kids in my neighborhood, literally torture them. I'd put on the mask, and they'd be sleeping, and I'd knock on the window, the knife, and they were terrified by me. So that was fun. Halloween 2, spent some time on set, got to meet the great Dick Warlock, fall in love with the great Jamie Lee Curtis, and she was so wonderful to me, let me just follow her around. 3, I remember reading the script and going, where's Michael? And didn't really have much connection with that. And that's kind of where it stopped for a long time. And then really the giant move, in my opinion, was when my father said, we're gonna bring him back. Everyone thought he was crazy. I remember that. I was 17 at the time. And he just said, why can't we bring him back? And so he, again, self-financed and distributed that movie, and it was #1 2 weeks in a row. Galaxy Releasing, it was called. Anyone ever heard that name? It was called Galaxy Releasing. And they did 4, and then they started doing a bunch of other small films that didn't quite have success. I was a PA on 4. That was fun. Being a PA is a lot more fun than being a producer, because you work 16 hours and you go have some drinks with the boys and you don't care about much. But 4 was a great experience. 5, zero involvement with 5. I was not involved at all. But in a way, 5 and the other films, it sort of was the end of Galaxy Releasing, and it kind of went belly up. So that's when I needed a job. I was about 26, and I just was around, and so I started moving boxes, cleaning up the offices. I had a 12-person office, didn't know any of them. I had to clean up, get rid of desks, and as I was doing this, getting day laborers and trucks, and I would just go through the contracts, and I just knew what everybody was paid and what, it was crazy. Galaxy could have been really big. Fortunately, it wasn't. And so I just started going into Trancas, which really had nothing, no rights to anything, no involvement, and I just kind of went in and took over. And that was crazy, but I guess that's where we're going with this. I don't know. So after 5 was kind of an end in what would have happened. So I started working in Trancas, doing whatever I could, and then 6 or 7 years after 5, John Carpenter, New Line, you guys probably know the story, they were gonna bid on it, and now I'm running whatever little company Trancas is, and I saw that, and I went to my father, and I just said, we got a bid on this, what are we doing? And he lovingly said, no, let them do it, let them do it. So this may upset some of you, because that could have been the New Line Carpenter film at the time, and I just said, no, we have to bid, and I didn't really know what I was doing. A couple calls later, through friends and film school associates, I get on the assistant of Bob Weinstein, and I get on the phone with Bob Weinstein, and I explain it to him as quickly as I could, and his famous quote to me was, Malek, I want to be in the Halloween business. And so that was a big turn, and so we did get the bid, and we were in the Halloween business. I'm going to tell you, and so that changed a lot of things, obviously. So just kind of rambling a little bit. Another funny story, so I negotiated this deal with Bob, and now I have to, just the last thing is get him on the phone with my father. That's the last thing. And it was a great moment. He puts him on speaker. My father was such a classy guy. And they go, and Bob says, Moustapha, it's fucking great. And my father tells him, Bob, we don't need to speak like that. And I had been dealing with him for 2 months now, so I was used to it, and I was thinking, oh no. And okay, Moustapha, well fuck, and my father hangs up on him. And that was my reaction, sitting across the edge, And this was my father's kind of Jedi moment. He just watched. He just kind of waved me off, and I'm freaking out. 2 minutes later, calls back, Moustapha, what happened? Bob, I told you, we don't need to speak that way. Okay. 30 seconds later, it's fucking click. Twice in a row, it was just unbelievable. I'm freaking out. Just watch. And sure enough, he calls back, and they had a minute conversation with no swear words, and that was it. So that was very fun. So that started the very interesting Weinstein association that went on for many years.
Long long time. It seems that after every sort of up, there is a down, isn't it? You've got the 1 and 2, then 3. As much as, I'm sure everyone here actually loves 3 now for a long time, that didn't have the audience. 4 was a hit, and 5 took it back down again. It's very much a roller coaster. So then 6, interesting, obviously, with the first time you've got the studio involvement. How did that play out behind the scenes?
Well, to be fair, I mean, I was a little over my head, and those guys are steamrollers. But it was a new start. Went out to Utah again, and I think everyone's got their feelings about 6 and the producer's cut and all that craziness. But I will say that when the Weinsteins got bought by, Miramax got bought by Disney, and we were able to do a proper budgeted film for once, and shot it in LA, H2O, got Jamie back, and then so that was, very proud, and, happy with the way that turned out. And started working with Jamie, the great Jamie again.
And then you got Resurrection, so we carried on the pattern.
Resurrection. Well, the pattern was that studio is we would do one film, it would do great. You'll see the pattern. Do a proper budget, does great, and then immediately they say, well, for the next one, you have to do it for half as much. What? So that one was great, and so now I had to go to Vancouver, try and figure out how to do a film for half as much. Okay, Bob. So that was Resurrection. I had a great time in Vancouver. It was wonderful. Busta Rhymes. Yes, I know the karate, kung fu everyone talks about, but I love that man to death. He was wonderful to work with. And the fun story about Resurrection. So we were on the rooftop scene, Jamie's death, and I told her, I said, Jamie, let's make it kind of blurry. Maybe you walk away. Let's leave it open-ended. And she said, Malek, I've done 4 Halloweens, and that's it. So I said, okay. And but that was really cool, because when she was hanging, and we were all on set, she's hanging next to Michael, and she said, I should kiss him. And that's the kind of cool, I still think about that. It's the kind of cool stuff Jamie does on set, and she's so amazing. So she came up with that. We were standing there, we were just like, yeah, kiss him. And so anyway, never say never, Jamie. But we'll get to that. So yeah, that's Resurrection. And then somewhere in there, Halloween 1. So I never thought I'd do 9 films. I never thought it's crazy. Now Halloween 1 was being done completely by another company. And I just finally had to say, they're ripping us off, like anyone would. Long story short, we had to go after them. They didn't have the money, and all of a sudden, we got the rights back to it. So now,
Thank you.
That's probably not better. Is that better? I don't know. Anyway, so we got the rights back to 1, and so now we're producing them, and me, and we're doing Halloween 1, and Halloween 1 wasn't really doing anything, so now that's a lot to take on. And here we are 30 years later, and dealing with people like the great John Carpenter, Jamie Lee Curtis, and these people. So we got that, and all of a sudden Halloween just took over my life.
So after Resurrection then,
Yeah.
there was a limbo period, wasn't there? We had lots of iterations or rumours, Halloween 9, and also another Halloween 9.
Yeah.
What happened in that period, and what led to the decision to not go 9 and to start the ball rolling again?
Yeah, well, we were trying to do a 9. To be honest, it was just getting really difficult with the storylines. Who's a relative, it just got a little hard. And so we were trying to do 9. Didn't quite have a solid direction, and then many of you know the accident with my father, which just threw my life, of course, in turmoil. And it was one of those moments that I do give Bob credit for, because I just called him and said, Bob, I can't even think about anything else for the next 6-9 months, something like that. When I went back to him, though, another thing I give him credit for is I just said, that's got to be the Moustapha Akkad era. We're starting new. We need a big budget. We're going big. And he got it, and he agreed. And I'd also give him credit for bringing Rob Zombie. So that was a wonderful production here in LA, full, good budget, and like one of the best productions I've worked on, just a breeze. And everyone on that film was fantastic. And just, I'm very, I don't like to use the word proud, but I guess that's a big moment in my career was that Halloween, or first Rob Zombie. Just amazing. And then here's the pattern. Bob Weinstein says, okay, the next one you get half as much money. And I'm learning my lesson because it's going to come up later, but I still, okay. So this time I take it, the next one, we take it to Georgia, and we do it obviously cheaper, and we had a lot of problems. We had some difficulties on that one. But that was kind of the return. It was significant to say, hey, Halloween's still here, and we did those two, and it was, I like those movies a lot.
I'm a big fan, particularly the second one, as you know.
Yeah.
So, but yes. So in a way then, you've got almost different continuities developing. What led to the decision then? Obviously you had the period in limbo, again, after Halloween 2. Let's actually look at that first. What happened before we get Blumhouse involved? We've got all that period after with lots of attempts like Halloween Returns and scripts in the ether. Rumours of filming in Eastern Europe for Haddonfield. Half the budget.
Yeah, you
happened?
guys know a lot of the stories better than me at this point, but I call it sort of the 6 years of attrition because we couldn't agree. And there were starts and stops, and there was Halloween 3D. We were fully crewed up, almost, a crew in Shreveport, and I was a week away from flying down to meet my crew. And Bob pulled we're moving too fast, okay? So that didn't happen, and over those 6 years, there were stops and starts, and some great filmmakers I wanted to work with didn't get the chance, and some horrible pitches. Someday I'm going to publish these pitches that were so bad. The point of it all was I was, for 6 years, saying no, resisting this, and at the end, it became, we had Halloween Returns, and we finally get a script. I got to the end. Bob Weinstein again. You're going to do it for 7.2, just a random number. Have you read the script? Yeah. So I did 3 budgets. First started in Louisiana, full budget, full crew. We're at 8.5 or something. And no, it's got to be 7.2. Go to Bulgaria. Bulgaria. The most iconic Americana horror film of all time. I said, not going to Bulgaria, Bob. Okay. So then I did a budget in upstate New York, and I got, unbelievably, I get closer now. I think I was right around 8. No, it's got to be 7.2. Okay. And then he said, what about Serbia? Serbia, I'm not going to Serbia, Bob. Man, I can't send you a ticket, go tomorrow. Okay, I'm not going to Serbia. Now, the thing about it is, if I just wanted a job, I would have gone, okay, fine, let's go to Serbia. No, it was just the wrong thing. So now, he said, I'm going to have them do a budget in Serbia. And guess what? The budget came exactly 7.2. It was unbelievable.
Crazy talk.
And they had about $1 million just for construction. They were going to take Eastern European streets and try and build Haddonfield and pay slave labor wages. So now I went back to good old Utah, right to work state, and I think I ended up about $300,000 apart. 7.2, I can do it in the US for 7.5. I said, Bob, that's $300,000, it's Halloween, you know? And he said, yeah, but I gotta write the check. So we didn't agree, and this is going on, and that's the period that I just was just saying no, no, no. And then, funny thing happened, there was a ticking clock, and they were about to lose it. So it gets interesting at that point.
And how did you get it?
Well,
if we're allowed to ask these questions, because I've got to...
I remember I was going to the Saturn Awards, and I get a call on a Friday, and it's Bob. He said, man, I'm sorry to do his accent. Everyone does it. Everyone does it. But Malek, I'm going to put someone in the Michael Myers mask and have them shoot around Hollywood. And I knew it, you know, he's trying to start physical production, we call it. He's trying to say that he started filming. And so now I know what's going on, and I learned my lesson about doing half the budget, so I'm just waiting him out, and I just said, Bob, that's silly. And lo and behold, there was a ticking clock on them that if they didn't start production. So we stopped that, and he said, well, he was not serious about it. Long story short, we waited out the ticking clock, and I got in touch with Miramax, who at the time was only 3 people, employees. There was nobody working at Miramax. Really wonderful people, though, just a small team, and I was in touch with them very closely, and Ryan and I, and we were just hold firm, because Bob's going to offer anything he can. He's going to try and get this, and Bob's assistant was telling me, don't worry, Bob will get it. So we were just like this, you know. And finally, I think it was about a month later, get the call, they were out for good.
Bob off.
And I have a little bar in my office. I've never used it, but it's cute little. And that day, I think I called everyone in, and we did a shot. And we're like, yes, hallelujah. And this is like credit to some guardian angels I have, I guess, because that was incredible. And everyone knows what happened later. And Halloween, as a franchise, would have been sinking on the Titanic that was. And that was like 6 months later that scandal broke. It was a miracle that we got out. And so then my first call was to great John Carpenter on a visit. I went over to John. For some reason, the Weinsteins didn't want to work with John. That kind of annoyed me. So he was the first guy I went to. John, you're involved, whatever, however this turns out. And John, the legend, the Maverick, said, okay. Just fucking love that guy. And then Jamie texted me herself, and she said, is it time for Laurie Strode to come back? Wow. So I have those in my pocket, and Miramax is a company that's just not able to do this. So now the conversation came, well, who do we partner with? And thus the partnership with Blumhouse.
How did you determine the direction on that?
I mean, simply it was, Miramax couldn't finance or distribute, they just weren't of that size. So now we were looking at other studios that could, and at the time, of course, and you know, for good reason, Jason, legendary horror producer, I mean, that guy's killing it. So it made sense, and he had to deal with Universal. So, you know, it made a lot of sense. And I have to say, the credit to him and Universal, they got it. I said, you can't do a cheapo, you know, those are just struggles. You know, we got a good budget, we got John, we got Jamie, let's do it right, and I do give them credit for seeing that vision. And they got behind it big time, and that's kind of where we're at now.
And it's bigger than ever.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
And just something I would add to that. 20 years ago, Anthony Massey sat on the stage in the building over there with your father. And he looked out and he was sort of, wow. Because it was the first time we'd seen that interaction with them. And he was overwhelmed at the crowd out there.
Yeah.
And me, myself, seeing that crowd and seeing the crowd we have now, I think he'd be very proud of you. So I think you should know that. So there you go.
Yeah, it's interesting relationship with that great man. I wasn't that close to him growing up. I'm a West LA guy. I wanted to surf and play in rock bands, and he's a very dignified man from Aleppo, Syria. And so, you know, but when we did start working together, that's kind of when we rekindled it was like a colleague, but also my father, so we rekindled it through Halloween in a way. And like I said, I've been working on this documentary. I'm going to show a clip, and I think as Halloween fans, I don't know how much of you guys know this incredible story of what he went through, and that the sort of reason kind of why we're all here. So Yeah, and we should have questions. We have, sorry, my rambling. It's like, what time is it? But it's just happy to see all you guys here. And now these 3 films, thanks to you guys, have done really well. And so now we're at another turning point. And man, I will say this, with a lot of great help, we did 3 rather ambitious films in 5 years through a pandemic. And I don't have a black hair left on my head. So that's, kudos to all the amazing people. It's tricky, and it's just we had the best crew. I mean, just David Gordon Green. It was all a pleasure, but a struggle at the same time.
Do we have any questions then? Do we have, I don't know how you,
There's mics right there, you just yell.
You're just going to shout it out. You, sir. Yeah.
You should have a mic or something.
Are you the Stephen Hutchinson that did the comics?
Sadly.
That's what I was going to bring up. Well, 2 things. First of all, if you do another one, I think the natural progression might be a film is called Smith Road.
Oh, again, no, we're not taking pictures. No. Believe me, I've heard that one and I've heard 1,000 others. Oh boy, I'll tell you, here's a fun one I heard.
Go on, do you leave the pitch first? He's got a pitch here to tell you though. I think we're going to hear this. 1 second.
No, go ahead.
No.
Here's one I've heard unbelievably horrible pitches. Just the worst. But here's one that I remember. And I don't even want to say who it was from. But anyway, it was called Halloween Bloodlines. And Laurie Strode donates her blood. See where it's going? And anyone who received her blood, Michael's going after. That call lasted as long as that. No. And that, there's just so many. But anyway, so sorry to cut you off, sir.
The next part, sorry.
So, regarding comics, I play comics. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one here who does.
I did.
I remember back in the 90s, you see I'm going just real quickly, but I remember I was reading, they had Batman, which is Predator, and then Batman, which is the Alien, and Alien. And I'm wondering, how come everyone decided to put Batman against Michael Myers?
Okay, good question. Another one, a lot of times my job is unfortunately just saying no to so much bad stuff. And I will say, along with my great team, we've kept Michael Myers out of a lot of junk. There was a tie-in with Dr. Pepper. There was a tie-in with Mitsubishi, the TV. There's lots that get thrown at us, and we're just like, that's horrible. So one of them was, another fun pitch was Michael versus Hellraiser, and probably a lot of you know about that one. And it was on the heels of Freddy Jason, and that was a tough one. Not for me, but there was a fight. Come on, Malek, do it. You guys can guess who that was. Come on, Malek, do it. Michael Freddy. Michael had Pinhead. Come on. I said, absolutely not. Michael is here, and of course I'm biased. And so that was another big no, and another. During that period of just saying no to a lot of bad pitches. So anyway, anyone else want to go forward?
We'll just jump up to the front and let's do it from there, so then we don't have to shout across the room and hope for the best.
Yeah, right on.
All right, you sir.
Mine's real quick and easy. I was just curious with the popularity of video games lately, especially horror movie video games. Was there any ideas or thoughts or?
Absolutely. Good questions asked about video games. We have a lot of stuff lined up, guys, and part of my superstition is I don't like to talk too much about it before it happens. But let me just say, as Halloween fans, it's going to be a fun couple years.
My question for you is Halloween 1 through 4 has gotten novelizations. I was wondering if I could get the ball rolling on 5, 6, and H2O and get something going on that, even if they're limited edition runs.
Right. It's an idea. It's not a major attention for us right now, but it's an idea.
All right. And then for you, I was going to ask, can you talk about the first step of Laurie Strode 3 and the Mark of Thorns storylines, and any chance for those? And
Nice Thorn.
I was about to say, man representing there.
Thanks. I mean, if you could ever bring it back, even for just a little bit, that'd be great.
I will say, because we're focusing on that one, come and see me at my table and I'll talk your ear off. How about that?
That sounds good.
There we go.
They are great. They're great.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
So I don't know if you're going to be able to answer. Are you guys ever going to possibly do anything with the Halloween Returns? Because I mean, I feel like that script was actually pretty solid.
It was.
And then anything you can say about the bidding wars and what's next, whether it's TV or movie. 'Cause
What wars?
The bidding wars for Halloween. Okay.
That was interesting.
And also one more. So there's a petition online with like 400,000 signatures for Aaron Armstrong to be the next Michael Myers.
Okay.
I don't know if you know about that, but like that would
I don't.
be absolutely incredible. It's like at like 410 grand, thousand
Okay.
right now for that.
It's like Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback.
Aaron Armstrong. Oh my God.
I would
sorry.
love to work with Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Armstrong from the flashback. The one from the flashback from Kill.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Sorry, that was totally my bad.
Yeah, I sort of stay out of that online world a bit. I love all the interaction back and forth, so I don't know about that petition. Returns, it is a solid script. That's not going to be the next one up, I could at least say that much.
Okay, I figured that's all you could say. Okay.
Yeah, I can't say, that's always hard for me because I can't really talk too much about things. It was fun at the premiere though, because I got to stand there between Jason Blum and Bill Block, and behind me, Halloween Ends, gigantic. And I said, everyone's asking me, Malek, does it end? Is it ending? And I said, well, look, we put it in the title. It ends. But I think you guys all get that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Malek.
Hi.
I have a question about a future idea for any Halloween movies. Would you ever consider...
You have an idea for it?
Yeah.
You're not really the place. I'm sorry. How old are you?
15.
Okay, when you're a little older and you got an agent, you can talk to my guy. We'll take your pitch. All right? What's your name?
Michael.
That was perfect. And I met you early, right? Yeah. All right. Sorry, but I can't really talk about that. But that's why, that's why this is going to be the least attended panel. But thanks for your question.
Would you ever consider...
He's going to do it anyway. Listen, I'll tell you something though, Michael. We have considered everything. And it's been considered Michael in space.
No.
Michael in Belize. Michael. So everything you're going to say has been thought about. What it hasn't been done is taken with a really strong auteur, David Gordon Green, or someone like him, and he takes it. It's easy to just, someone just says, well, Michael at a rodeo. But if David Gordon Green tells me that, oh, now I'm listening. So everything's been considered, and we're considering everything, but I appreciate you. Thanks, brother.
Take back what you said, 25th.
Yeah, you're right. You got a shirt. I'm buying this man a shirt. See me after.
Awesome. All the movies you're on the set, what was the most amount of fun any of the time you had on the set?
Like I said, when I was a PA, I was living in a tiny hotel room with my friend from high school for 4 months. That was 4. We had so much, we were crazy. And my other PA is Mike Lookinland, otherwise known as Bobby Brady. And so me and my friend from high school we terrorized Bobby Brady every day. And I started calling him, because Lookinland, so it was Mike looking goofy, Mike looking funny, Mike look every day. He was lovely, nicest guy in the world. He was the greensman. We had so much fun on that one. We used to have to put leaves on blocks and blocks of streets and then clean them up. The whole crew would be gone. We'd be imagine 5 in the morning raking leaves with Bobby Brady. And Dwight Little, the director, just terrorized me because we'd try and just put a couple. more leaves, more leaves. But that was a really fun one. Vancouver was a particularly fun one. I was a young single guy in a wonderfully beautiful city. So they all have something, but yeah, maybe when it was zero responsibility being a PA, might.
Awesome.
Thank you. Come see me, buddy, for t-shirt.
Will we see a Blu-ray release of Halloween 2018 that has the knife fight ending with Laurie and Michael? And will we see a Blu-ray of Halloween Kills that seems to have an alternate ending where Laurie attacks Allison?
I think so. Now I'm looking for Ryan. Ryan, where are you, buddy? Ryan, stand up, God dang. There he is, Ryan Freeman.
Give a shout for Ryan Freeman.
Come on up. That's my guy right there. But you know, they all eventually will come out. You know, and technically that's kind of Universal's call, and so when I get asked that question, I go right to this man. Let's hear it. Oh, what was the question?
Will there be a Blu-ray release of Halloween 2018 with the knife fight ending between Laurie and Michael, and a Halloween Kills release that has seemingly an ending where Laurie attacks Allison?
Yeah, that's, I mean, generally it falls with Universal a bit, and then they'll consult with us producers on whether we want that to be seen. I think also David Gordon Green has to be involved in that. Ultimately, it's his film and what he wants the public to see, but they understand that there's things that at one time thought was a good idea, and so I think it's a conversation, but they want the actual film as it was displayed to the fans to be seen for a while, and we'll usually get around to those extra elements later.
Were you here when I was talking you up earlier?
I was.
Okay, good. Doesn't happen often. Go ahead.
I was wondering how's it been working on the most recent trilogy?
It was challenging, exciting because we were with a lot of new entities. Obviously, Universal knocked it out of the park with their promotion and marketing, and so that was, you know, it's like slowly, it's kind of ascended from, you know, Halloween 5, which could have technically been like a direct-to-DVD film, to like now we're working with Universal, Blumhouse, all that. But the crew is just incredible. One of the best crews I've ever worked with, bar none. And the difficulties of a pandemic, lockdown, all that. So it was rewarding, I would say, to be able to get those out to people in those, you know, that time. And we all went through it, and it was just great to be able to work through it.
Yeah, that was an amazing experience, and I can't compliment David and his whole team from Rough House. Just a well-oiled machine, and you can see that in other works that they do. What a great experience, and great locations where we shot too. Great people there.
Thank you. Love all these shirts. Yeah, rocking it. Yeah.
What is your favorite memory on the new Halloween films?
Good question. I'm not prepared for.
I remember going out with Jim Courtney after we finished shooting the reshoots, and we got really drunk after that. And the nice thing is that, you know, he gets kind of mobbed now with a lot of places he goes, and so it was nice being able to operate with anonymity and have fun with him, and that was a good bonding experience, but paid for it for a few days later.
I would say it goes to Jamie, because 3 films, you know, we didn't know. Actually, in the script, in the original Halloween 2018, she dies. And similar conversation. I said, Jamie, we don't really want you to die. Oh, Malek, I'm doing 5, so that's it. And we were shooting, and it's in the script. And I would go to her trailer, Jamie, you know, you're the hero. We don't really want you to die. Oh, Malek, that's it. Enough of those trips, and then she goes, oh, maybe I'll talk to David. And then I get a call a day later, and David said, I'm thinking of a way to keep her alive. Yes. So the whole experience with Jamie, I have to say, because she's just amazing. And when you, as a producer, you get to set, you see the drivers, you go to every department, makeup, hair. All I hear all day not made up. How amazing is Jamie? Jamie's the most genuine, she's the most thoughtful. We love her, every department, constantly, all day. And that's wonderful for a producer to hear. And all I can say all day is, I know. And so she is beloved by the crew, and we're always Team Jamie. So I guess that's sort of my memory.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have questions about Halloween 4. Why didn't you guys keep Michael with the bandages on for longer? A little bit longer?
Ooh, well, again, I was just PA on that one, but it's a good question. Keep them on longer, the bandages in Halloween 4?
They looked more scary than with the mask on.
Yeah, well, it's a good look. You're right. The funny thing is, at the first convention, someone asked me, he said, Malek, in Halloween 4 at 45 minutes and 12 seconds. Swear to God. 20 and 20, whatever, and there's apparition, a ghost. What? I had no idea what he was talking about. So I remember the following Monday or Tuesday, and God bless, my father was with me, and we went to that exact 42 minutes 17, and for 2 frames in the chandelier. How did you see this? What the hell? And it was a crew member reflection, just walking. So great. And so whoever that guy is, come see me, because you get a t-shirt too. But that kind of dedication is amazing. So that's a good point. Yeah, it's a good look, the bandages. Thanks.
And another one for Halloween 5. After the police shot out, what was the fate of Sheriff Meeker?
What was the Sheriff Bleeker? Well, 5, I had 0 involvement with. I didn't even, so no answer there, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, though. What's your name?
Daniel.
Daniel, thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Just wondering what your general goals are for where you take the franchise next, and what is realistic in terms of the time frame to see.
So, definitely it's new heights that we're at now, and Michael has just become American lexicon, and that is fun, and it's kind of a beast sometimes to even try and ride that thing with my guy right here. And this is, for me, the best, this celebration of it, and seeing all you guys. So that just somehow makes me feel like we're doing our job. Where it goes, I can tell you one thing, it's going to stay at that elevated level. We're going to keep it quality. You don't please everyone, I know, all the time, but we got some really cool stuff coming that I know this base is gonna really love. So, time frame, you mentioned, well, there was all these rumors last week. I don't know where they started, but there's always a kernel of truth, I will say, and so we're working on it. We're working on it. A lot of things in the works right now. Just take a little while. So things will be dropping. I guess, watch this space. We got fun stuff coming. We might have a big one before Halloween, actually, the holidays. So, yeah. Yeah, pretty soon.
All right, I have a really dumb question.
Yay!
So
Gonna remember this 20 years in the next convention.
Yeah. So I ran into you earlier, Malek, and I was telling you I had the pleasure of working a few days on Halloween Ends, working with Corey D. Myers, and I just had a conversation with Corey D. Myers. I said, as a big fan of this franchise, I love Michael Myers, and one of my dream roles as an actor is to portray Michael Myers, but I am not a stuntman. And my dumb question is, does anybody like me, who can do the walk, has the attitude, who really studies the movement and everything about Michael Myers, but is not a stuntman, have a shot at ever playing the role of Michael Myers, or is the answer
no? It's did they do the Michael panel already? The Michaels. This is just the Halloween family. including all you guys, and it's just exciting. I see people I saw at the past conventions, and all the Michaels and all the cast and crew. Just adore them all. There was one actress. Remember, I've worked on 9. There was one actress. That's a little mystery for you guys. That was a bit of a diva. I'm not going to go there. You guys can all imagine who that was. But everyone is just the best. And we were really locked into the stuntman thing, and then we started showing a little bit more. And and God bless James Hugh Courtney for rocking the last 3 like a legend. So I'm not sure if I'm. I'm not sure.
I have so much respect for all those guys.
Yeah.
And I've worked with a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of them get hurt, and so I guess.
So I guess if you're putting yourself up for the role, what's your name? What's your first name?
Dan Kurtzell.
Dan. Okay, so Dan, let's talk.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it.
Do you have a favorite Michael kill?
Oh, another good question. What's your name?
Amber.
I'm sorry?
Amber? Amber?
Amber. Hi, Amber. Do I have well, I guess I mentioned it earlier because it was just so incredible. It was the Jamie, and she kisses Michael and falls, and I was right there. And I guess I would go with that one. What about you? What's your favorite?
I want to say... I feel like it kind of doesn't count because, like, in the new one when the girl's shooting at him, the doctor, and then he kind of kicks the door. I feel like it's kind of like.
All right, we better hurry up a little bit, Amber. Thank you. That was a great question. I'll take a couple more, and then I'm going to show you guys this clip because it's a part of my father's story that I think Halloween fans don't quite know, and we'll end it with that. So thank you guys. So go for it. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Just wondering which Michael is your favorite?
Which Michael? Like the actors?
Michael Myers. Yeah.
The actors, I just love them all. That's hard. It's like picking, I don't want to say my children, it's like picking a favorite. They are all, like I said, they're just all such a joy to work with, and they're, just love working with them. But physically looking, they're all different. They're all great.
Okay, thank you.
All right. One last one. You're going to get these last 2 guys. Yes.
I have a question. When are we going to get a Halloween licensed AAA video game?
Watch this space. I wish I could, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Hello, another question for Halloween 4.
Yeah.
About the scene of Rachel and the movie. Part of Rachel and...
Were you the guy 20 years ago? No, sorry, Rachel.
Yeah, the part when they were in school.
Halloween 4, everybody, yeah.
Underneath the Halloween patrol, how did Michael end up being under the truck?
Well, it's called Hollywood movie making. Thank you. Yeah. Let me just say, again, I got through this a little tired, but you guys are the best, and you got to know that we do this is a lot of work, and this guy's been killing it. And from our point of view, talking about Trancas and Compass, we do this for charity. I don't know if anybody knew that. So just buying your ticket, if you're coming to the party, just know that you guys all did a little bit towards charity. We don't do it for any other reason but the love of the fans. So I thank you guys so much, man, for coming out and hearing me ramble.